a lot of the times the success that we are told that's what that is, they have been determined by folks who didn't have us in mind for that measure of success. So I actually think this is an opportunity, this conversation that we're having about success, whether it's given or earned, I think it's an opportunity for us to take another look at success, especially as for Black women. We need to look at how do we reclaim and redefine what success looks for us.
You know what? 100%.
Right?
And you're saying that, and it's just like the light bulb went on in my head about that definition. You see something, you see a person, they're living their best life, and you look at and you're like, oh my God, I want that, right? That's healthy. It's someone showing you of the experience they created in the world, something that you also want to create for yourself. Where it becomes toxic is where it becomes envy.
Who pissed you off this week?
Nobody. You know what? I feel like our podcast in part is for people, for us to say it when they can't. Because I just know that there are some people be one to slap them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just keep seeing on the news, like, with all this crazy news, with the layoffs and the back and the forth and the you know what? People show up every day and give their best for years, for months, days, weeks, the best of themselves. They take it to the office, they take it to their jobs, they take it to work, and where's the thanks? So I just felt like this week when I was doing writing my out of office, I just wanted to say it for all the people. And the autoresponder is on.
How are you? You look cute. Wait, I didn't see the whole outfit, but I think I need to check it out later.
It's drawstring. What's it, like a
drawstring pants?
Paper bag pants.
Oh, I love those. Okay,
Yeah.
you got to let me. I got to check it out.
I need some room. I'm in my fluffy era.
You said this earlier.
Yes, but it's ending. It's coming to an end. But I will talk about that later. Hello to the listeners. Thank you for joining us.
Hope you're having a great week.
Yes.
What's your out of office reply today?
Well, I have a little lengthy one today.
Okay,
prepare.
Oh.
Regarding your message, my department is completely out of fucks. There's been such high demand that we no longer have any fucks available to give, trade, barter, lend, contribute, or even pledge. The out-of-stock conditions are expected to be prolonged, as the raw materials for the fucks we once had to give are also in short supply. Accordingly, I cannot provide any specific timing as to when we will ever give another fuck about whatever it is you're talking about. I'm currently out of office, sourcing new raw materials for all the fucks we once gave, including Time to Deal with This Shit Right Now, A New Last Nerve, The Patience of Job, and the specific brand of peace that surpasses all understanding. Please direct all further questions to someone who cares. Thank you for your understanding, and we will be in touch.
Who pissed you off this week?
Nobody. You know what? I feel like our podcast in part is for people, for us to say it when they can't. Because I just know that there are some people be one to slap them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just keep seeing on the news, like, with all this crazy news, with the layoffs and the back and the forth and the you know what? People show up every day and give their best for years, for months, days, weeks, the best of themselves. They take it to the office, they take it to their jobs, they take it to work, and where's the thanks? So I just felt like this week when I was doing writing my out of office, I just wanted to say it for all the people that can't.
Well, we thank you for that, because I'm like, good Lord.
We are completely out of fucks.
Because
including the raw materials for the fucks that we once gave. Would you like me to repeat the raw materials?
No, the raw materials. We be here for longer than we can. Because all I got is, it's my birthday month. That's my out of office reply. Like, that's all I got.
I said it for you too.
That's all I got. I ain't got nothing more than that. Good Lord.
Amen. I don't know. I cannot promise every week I will be this creative. I was just feeling it this week, and I was like, let me give a little extra for the girls.
I mean, you did.
In the out of office.
You got it for this week and next week.
Okay, thank you. I'm off next week. I will still be out of fucks.
Oh my gosh. So let's go into the women that you spoke for this week.
Yes. I see you, girl.
Well, my I see you, girl, this week is Diana Salazar Mendéz. She is the Attorney General of Ecuador. The Economist recently wrote an article about her, and they called her the bravest woman in Latin America. Actually, they posed the question: is she the bravest woman in Latin America?
Is that nosotros subimos?
What does that mean?
We see you in Spanish.
What does that mean?
I think it's we see you in Spanish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at you. You're speaking multiple languages. So if that's the case, then what you just said?
Nosotros subimos.
What she said.
I think that's right.
But she is also described as Ecuador's Iron Lady. And she's been in the role since 2019. She's the first Black woman.
Oh, Ecuador.
And the youngest woman to hold the position. She's so dedicated to upholding the law. And she's been very successful about it. She's gotten a lot of bomb threats. Actually, a car bomb happened outside of her office. That's how successful she is. She really wants to dismantle networks of corruption and organized crime. It's basically narco politics. She had an operation called Operation Metastasis that launched in December 2023. Targeting individuals that were linked to drug trafficking. So she actually arrested 28 people, including judges, prosecutors, and police officers, government officials. Yep. And then she does this all with clear skin, laid hair, and some of the flyest eyewear.
Really?
This woman is stunning.
Can we find her on Instagram?
No, I found her. That's what I'm saying. She's on Instagram. Like,
okay, well, in the show notes, this is somebody I need to look up. And I think the other thing that is what you're pointing out that between the lines that I would like to highlight is that when we think of South America and Latin America, we do not expect to see ourselves in the picture. But there are a tremendous number of Black residents, residents of African descent, citizens of African descent, all throughout South America. The ship stopped there too.
Yes, it did.
Okay? And I'm so glad that you're bringing us together in the diaspora and highlighting this. For people who are listening, like, we everywhere.
We are here.
We speak Spanish. No, nosotros hablamos español también.
What she said. I do not speak Spanish. But anyways, that's my See You Girl this week. I just really enjoyed that discovery, like reading about her in The Economist. And I don't often read The Economist, but every once in a while my husband has it. And I'm like, oh, what's in here?
Yeah.
And they profiled her. And I was like, what? It's a Black woman in Ecuador kicking ass and taking names?
Hello.
We're going to profile her this week.
Yes, nosotros subimos.
Shout out
hermana
to my hubby for this.
That was we see you, girl, in Spanish, I think.
Yes.
But I said sister instead of girl. Nosotros subimos hermana.
Okay, hermana.
I don't know if that's right or not, but you know what? I tried. So my I see you, girl, this week.
Yes.
Jennifer Lewis.
Oh, yes. Ha-ha!
I love her. I know. Yeah, first of all, she brings the flavor. She brings all the zhuzh.
And the high
to
kicks.
Every story that she brings. And she's so full of life. And I think that she is a masterclass in living to the fullest. Like, having your full soul and spirit embody the totality of your body.
She's great.
She just brings her whole self. And so I saw her tell a story about, so she's never been married. Like me, but she has been engaged several times. And she was saying, but when she knew she had to get rid of one of them.
Oh.
She said, she's like, I love life. But I had to, her first of all, she was like, her first love is life. Clearly.
Yes.
And so anything and anyone who gets in the way of that love gotta go.
Word.
So she was saying she loves life. She said that she loves life. She loves this planet. And she said that she loved this planet so much she was going to go to space just so she could look down on this bitch. That's what she said. You got to hear her say it. I was like, oh my God, I never thought about it this way. And she said that she talked about enjoying her success and her freedom. And she said She said, you don't fuck around when you get free. And I just took that to heart, meaning that you've got to live out every moment. Even if you're not fully free, when you have those moments of freedom as you're working towards your full freedom and the fullness of your freedom, just to hear her appreciate that. So I wouldn't have put the link in the show notes, but she was just saying that you've got to pay attention to who you're around. And if they're bringing down your vibe, if they can't appreciate what you're appreciating, you need to move on. Okay. And you need to recognize when that misalignment happens and nip it right in the bud. So shout out to Jennifer Lewis. I see you, girl. I just love seeing her stand in her light on her and say, I can do this on my own and I do it so well.
I love it.
Can nobody get in my way?
I want her to bottle it up and sell that.
Look.
So we can just spray it on ourselves before we head out into the world.
Put in some incense like Erykah Badu did.
I love it. Shout out to Jennifer Lewis. She's the best. Who else do you have in your ICU girl? Or do you have anyone else?
So this is another one. This is one small, quick one. Okay. ICU girl goes to our white cousins doing the can't get enough line dance by Tamia's can't get. Listen, y'all got it. Y'all got it.
Someone said, I need to learn this dance because nobody's going to out-black me.
I mean, I've been out-blacked. I can't do the dance. I'm from Detroit.
Actually, the person said out me. Oh, you know what that?
Yeah, exactly.
But I translated to out black me,
our white cousins put us to shame. I was like, that complicated situation. I was like, they had it all. It wasn't perfect. There was some situation.
There was a dude in an orange shirt.
Yeah, he had
who looked like he's been invited to the cookouts for a minute.
Yeah.
He was getting it zoned.
Listen, if you want to come and you want to see your white cousins in full effect, come to Detroit. Let me tell you something. When there is an invitation to the cookout, and our fair-skinned brothers start to show up, because the standard is high in Detroit. When you come to the line, when you coming in, when you come to the picnic, you got to come correct. Okay. They come all the way correct. Eminem is from Detroit.
Right. So we know.
So you know what it be like. So I'm just saying that I have seen this before and I have full appreciation, but I don't think that was Detroit.
That video had me rolling.
And I just have to I see you, girl. I see you, fam.
I do need to look into that line dance.
We need to learn it.
I've seen it, and I've said I don't have that much coordination. But
I have a video for you that breaks it all the way down. Yes.
Okay, so then send that through. Send that through.
I'll send it to you.
All right, so moving on to what I'm on right now.
You got it.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So there's a guy called Black Vegan Man. He's all about eating good, laughing, and working out. I think I've shared recently my daily routine.
Say it again for the people in the back.
So every morning, I've added to it since then, but every morning I make sure I get at least a half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour to pray with Grace Oasis. It's a YouTube channel. Morning affirmations with Wake Me Up. And both of these channels are on YouTube, by the way. So I came across his feed. He was doing some breath work.
Okay.
And his first line said, as we begin our practice, we realize that they have us entirely fucked up.
In meditation.
In the meditation. And the rest of the caption says, don't try me, try these hands. And it was like meditation posts. He goes on to say, you've absorbed an energy that can no longer be within this space. Mm-hmm. They don't know that you've turned the other cheek multiple times, and that if they catch this fade, most of it isn't even because of them. It's just because we've built up this frustration over time. Mm-hmm. So let's release that today and not catch a case. How do you feel? What did you release? Who had you fucked up? Someone was like, I'm here for this hood meditation series. It is, even though he does it, but it is very zen. Like I found myself, like I was like, okay, I'm actually going to sit down and just do this. And I was like, oh, okay, this is really cool. So I like this guy, Black Vegan Man,
I
on
like
IG.
Well, the other thing too is that you need to be met where you are sometimes. Sometimes it's sometimes a little too zen. Sometimes I need to turn it up a little bit to bring it down. You gotta, you know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
That's right. Just bring it to my level.
Okay.
So what I'm on right now is juicing. So I told you my fluffy era is coming to an end. We're just gonna bring that to a peaceful close. So I'm just ready to shed some versions of myself. And when you are working, especially as a writer, there's just not balance in terms of time. And so I had to really account for that because it's like, oh, yeah, I could work out, but I really can't because time-wise, it's just not available. Like sometimes there's just a tight turnaround on something.
Yeah.
So it's not available. So I had to really think about how can I best serve my body when my schedule is not fully serving me. So juicing has been is my new obsession. Cool. I'm absolutely obsessed.
Okay.
And it's part of making sure that my habits match my goals. So what I realized, thinking about the body like a car, the car has a battery and the car has a gas tank. And the battery is to start the car and to have the car on and do the basics. If the car is just sitting still, you use the battery. If the car is moving, you use the gas tank. And so if you think about nutrients and how we're eating, the nutrients, the vegetables, the vitamins, all of that is not necessarily tied to the carbs that we like so much, which the refined carbs, the breads, the starches, the chips, the cakes, the candies, all of the refined sugars and things that taste good but really are more for when we are actually in movement and action. Mm-hmm. So juicing, there's various things to think about with juicing, including fiber, but let's just put that aside.
Okay.
Juicing allows me to get more fruits and vegetables, which are the nutrient part of the diet, into my body, and kind of avoid more of the carbs. Because usually if I have vegetables, if I'm going to eat them, I want it with rice or I want it with a carb. So I had to really think about, okay, how is this going to best serve me? So juicing is allowing me to have more fruits and vegetables. There's still a little bit of fiber that comes along with the juicing. And it's allowing me to separate the nutrients from the fuel.
So let me ask you this, because I've done juicing before and my concerns were always with sugar.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
So I do vegetable juice.
Oh,
I don't
so
do fruit juice.
So mostly vegetables.
Yeah, well, I mix it together. So if I do green juice, so like my favorite recipe right now is green juice. I love the green juice. And it tastes delicious. I use pineapple for the fruit, but that's it. That's a sweetener. But then everything else is green. So that's cucumber, that's celery, that's spinach, that's parsley. And ginger and lemon. That together gives you something that tastes a little bit like grapefruit juice. But it's got enough sweetness, but it's really not, the foundation is not a fruit juice. It's just there for flavoring. So I think about the fruit component as more like flavoring.
And do you make this at home?
I do. I'm a fantastic juicer that is very efficient. So it's a slow, I think it's a masticating juicer.
Yeah.
And then I did beet juice. I did beet, carrot, and ginger. Cool. So the beet's naturally sweet, but it's not too sweet. And then I have a little bit of carrot to balance. So some of this is balancing it, but you want the core nutrient to be vegetable based in the juice.
All right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm on right now. And yeah, so this is going to be the end of an era. I'm going for the clear skin, long hair, slim,
like Diana
slim
Salazar Mendéz.
Slim thick.
You'll see her. She's this woman. I'm like, how are you corrupting crime?
She's drinking. She's drinking her juice,
fighting crime, and also looking as good.
She's got fresh fruits and vegetables. So yeah, this is, and I think the other part of this is like it's not perfect because I think there are a lot of drawbacks to juicing, and because you're not having the fiber. But if you're not a person that's eating a lot of fruits and vegetables regularly, and you need an on-ramp. This is that on-ramp.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I can't do it perfect. So I'm going to do it what I can do that's enjoyable and that is going to work. And then my next step will be to have the full fruits and vegetables as I've become accustomed to the taste.
So you should record this
Yeah.
And then share it with our listeners so that they can see what that process looks like.
Yeah, I will.
Because that sounds daunting. Okay, moving on.
No, it's not. It's not. It's so cute. Okay.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Girl, you have this because I have Jesus has had his hand on the wheel for a few weeks now, and Jesus has been driving the bus for me. So this is your segment. This
is okay. We're gonna be quick because we're gonna keep it moving. So Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James are beefing.
Why the brothers gotta be beefing?
Well, because he has some choice words about LeBron's son, Bronny.
Okay.
He basically said Bronny's only there because of nepotism, not necessarily his skills. And LeBron checked Stephen A.
Okay.
And then it was at a game recently, and Stephen was like, "Oh no, it was." I mean, basically, I don't even know if he apologized. I don't think he apologized. It was like his version of an apology of being like, I'm just trying to do my job. Like, that's what I do, as a commentator. But then Stephen said he didn't appreciate how Bron approached him, how Bron checked him. And then Dwayne Wade stepped into the group chat and said he would have done the same thing. Look, you can do your job, right. Stephen A. Smith. I find him very obnoxious.
Yes.
But it's a job that he has. And he does it really well.
He has an audience.
He has an audience.
Somebody likes it.
Someone likes it, not I. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay.
Right.
But what's not okay is when you go after people's kids. And I know that Bronny is an adult. And, I'm sure some of y'all listening will be like, well, he's an adult and he's a public figure, so he should da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm in full support of LeBron. I'm not saying this because he's my former employer, but I'm truly saying this because at any age, if you come for my child,
right.
It's a wrap.
Oh, no, we already know. You and Molly, you in danger, girl.
Okay. So I understand you have a job to do, Stephen. I understand that. We get it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a job, you have a job, you have a career. We get it. But I think just have some couth.
This is what I'm going to say about this. I see both sides of this in a way. Now, here's the thing, though. There is a saying for this, and it's called fuck around and find out. So it's a proverb. I don't know. It's a, you know what I'm saying? So what Stephen A. Smith did, he did the first part. And then the second part.
He found out.
And I think if you, listen, you do your job, right? I think with people running around right now saying, I should be able to, you should be able to. But
there are consequences.
You have generated a consequence. Now you're going to find out what that consequence is. So if you talk about somebody's child, and everybody's somebody's child. Everybody in the world is somebody's child. So if you feel like you want to get froggy with somebody's child, which is within your right, because yes, we do have the right of free speech.
Correct.
We do have opinion shows. He's a commentator. That's his job. However, you might have caught the wrong one.
Or the right one.
Or you might have had the right one today.
That's it.
And that's what seemed to have happened.
I'm just saying, like, Stephen, you can't...
And he's lucky that that's all that happened.
You can't say what you say and then expect him not to say something. And then when he says it, you got a problem with it? Get out of here.
And LeBron can afford lawyers.
Get out of here.
So I'm just saying, you got to be careful. LeBron got a long legal budget.
And I'm sure Stephen does too. Stephen, I think he just signed a deal with ESPN for like $100 million. Like, he is that guy as well. So, game recognized game, or whatever the term here is. But what I'm saying is, why bring the child into it? And I understand he's an adult, but you really thought that man wasn't going to say something to you?
And he didn't do it. Like, it wasn't the Oscars. He didn't
slap you.
He did.
You're right. And he had opinions about that too. Lord.
Whatever.
Anyways, moving on.
Anyway, well, I'm just saying, we walking around thinking they're not consequences. You can do what you gonna do, but then you gonna find out what you did.
Okay.
Okay.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you said you don't have anything for these.
No, okay. So we're going to minding my black business.
Minding my black business. Okay, why don't you start?
Okay, so as we are embarking on the, I will say that many members of our community are embarking on the Target 40-day fast.
Yes.
Which was initiated by Reverend Jamal Bryant. That was initiated by members of the faith community. Yeah. So the Lenten season. And so in this season, I heard him speak about the impetus of this fast. And he was saying that historically, a lot of the social justice movements have initiated in the Black church. And he was dismayed to see that recently the Black church hadn't really been spearheading a lot of social justice movement. So this 40-day fast, specifically pertaining to Target, was something that was initiated in the church and has spiritual and Christian foundations. And he's saying this is something for the Christians, the Christian community to do and to approach in a way of faith. And so I just wanted for those who are embarking upon this, and and I think there are going to be a lot of boycotts, and we're all wondering, how do we help protect Black businesses in this time and along the way of this? So I wanted to highlight something you can do that's very, very simple. Go to the company's website. And I know you've seen videos about this before, but I want to talk about how that's important and why that's important.
Yeah.
When you go to retail as a company, and I used to run a skincare company, we were not at retail, but we were on QVC. And that was a particular part of the strategy, because when you do retail, it's very expensive. Mm-hmm. And let's say you might only get 15% of the purchase price at retail, whereas you would get 70% when somebody purchases from your website. Now, it's a little less convenient.
Wait, repeat that?
So at retail, you might only net out 15% of the purchase price as a brand. Whereas when it's direct to consumer and somebody buys from your website, it could be up to 70%.
70%?
It could be a lot more.
Wow.
Yes, because it's direct. So most brands have a warehouse and they do sell direct, but it's very complicated when you have a retail relationship, because obviously the retailer does not want you to have a preferential experience on your website, because they're paying basically to have you on the shelf. That's expensive real estate.
Right.
They need to have a certain amount of return because they have overhead and everything else. So I know that there is immediate gratification when you go to the retailer, when you walk in the doors of the store and you want something, or you discover something and you pick it up, and there's a benefit to that. But if you really want to support a brand and you want to be helpful to them, after they reach your awareness, whatever way it is, or your regular supply, just think ahead a little bit. If you're going to participate in these boycotts, you want to keep supporting the Black businesses or other businesses that you want to make sure, have sustainability. You go to their website, and, you may have free shipping or not, there may be a little bit of a delay, but you're definitely helping and supporting the retailer when you do that.
Wow.
So you're not going to get your immediate gratification. You may not get your free shipping, but just think ahead. And so stock up, buy more than one. Think, you're not going to be able to just go in and get it if you're participating in one of the various boycotts. You're not going to be able to just go in and get it.
Right.
Or, necessarily, but the website's a great place to support. So I wanted to highlight one Black hair care brand I saw that recently entered Target. So for people who are participating and are still wanting to support Black brands, and especially Black hair care brands, there's a new brand called Elodia. Oh. I'm on my hair discovery process.
The hair is herring today.
The hair is herring. This was Elodia. Elodia was the one before this wash and go. And I will say a couple of things. First, it's a very simple regimen. It's started by a PhD medical scientist and trichologist. So trichologists are people who specialize in the study of hair. And her PhD study was around toxicity and its effects on particularly Black populations, and whether some of the autoimmune diseases had roots in product toxicity and other things of the sort. So she decided to create a plant-based clean line. It was focused on hair health and growth.
Nice.
Enter Elodia. So there is a pre-poo oil.
Okay.
Pre-shampoo oil. That's like a bunch of obviously plant-derived ingredients, plant-based ingredients, and a bunch of nutrients. And it's just a very rich, lovely oil. It smells good. You put the oil on your hair, and then you shampoo with a moisturizing shampoo. And then that's it. That's your washing regimen. You put the...
Oh, no conditioner?
No. It's a conditioning experience because the oil basically mixes with the shampoo and you're getting like a co-wash.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. So my hair felt very clean. And then you have a styling cream, buttercream, that has a little bit of hold to it. So if you want to do your twist out, if you want to do a wash and go, there's a fourth step, which is a hold gelée, like a holding gel.
Cool.
So the combination together made a really lovely wash and go. It was like super cute. It worked. The hold was like days long. I had really good hold from it. It was a quick, lovely regimen. And I will say when I washed my hair for this wash and go, this is Uncle Funky's daughter and Ladou Mousdef combination. Fantastic. Mwah. Chef's kiss. But when I did this shampoo, my detangling and my hair shedding was like minimal, easy.
Because you did the thing last.
Because Elodia was what I used before I did this wash and go. And when I went to wash my hair, it was like the detangling was like so easy, and the shedding it was the least amount of hair shedding I've ever had.
Because you did the Elodia pre-poo oil, guess. The shampoo.
That was I did the Elodia regimen before I did this.
Wow.
This one. Now, I don't know. I've only done it once. I don't know but I'll just say I was the least amount of shedding I've ever had. So take it for what it will, but it's worth a try. I really like this brand.
I like this.
I will be using it again.
Yes.
And shout out, they have a website. The website is, I think it's Elodia Hair Care, Alodia. It will be in the show notes. And so... Yeah,
I love that.
Support Black brands via their websites online.
What's the doctor's name?
Dr. Ishfan. I'm gonna, I can't pronounce these. I can't pronounce names, y'all.
Okay, shout out to Elodia. I'm excited to check them out.
That's her baby. I'm like, it. Oh, you know what? It's in my notes, but I can't find it. So, but Elodia Hair Care, that's her baby. Cool. And on another episode, I will certainly
speaking of baby,
shout her out directly.
Shout out to Joanna DeVries, I think her name is. She's known as Grow with Jo. I think she's pregnant with her third kid. But she's a Black woman, content creator, fitness coach. I found her during the pandemic. She was best known for her walking videos on YouTube. And she has this app.
I remember this.
Yep. She has
Grow with Jo.
Yeah, Grow with Jo. So she has this app now. She's had it for a while. I had it and then fell off. I had it and then fell off. I'm really serious about it now. I've included her workouts in my morning routine. And so what I've found is I can't lift heavy, unfortunately. But what I can do is just get my body moving. And that's what she's about. She's about at-home workouts, getting your body moving, doing it effectively and in a short amount of time so you can keep coming back. So in addition to my praying, my affirmations, and sometimes my meditation with Black Vegan Man, I now have my workouts with Grow with Jo, the app. So it's the app. Yeah. So it's like 10 minutes to 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes. She has longer ones. But I find that the 10 to 20 minute range is great. I'm not looking, I think I like the size that I'm at right now. I just want to tone up. And I feel like, and I also want to just be healthy, to be honest. I just want to just get my body moving. And I found that her app and her workouts are the quickest and most effective. And they're fun. There's dance workouts, there's Afro beats workouts, there's just regular working, like I said, the walking ones that I found before. She has these Tabata ones, these HIIT ones with these weights, Pilates or whatever. Anyway, she has made it so really easy for me the last week to wake up, get my body moving and out the door so it doesn't feel like I'm like a couch potato.
And how much is the app?
It's like $40 a month.
$40 a month.
Yes.
I love that you're highlighting this because I watched a video with one of my hair girls from YouTube, one of my hair influencers.
Yeah.
Natural hair care community. And she was saying a lot of the natural hair care influencers in the community that was on YouTube has left YouTube because the juice basically wasn't worth the squeeze. So they weren't getting compensated for the amount of time and effort that it put into the videos that they were making. And so a lot of influencers and content creators who are thriving have some kind of product that they've created, whether it's an app or a hair care line or something. So I just want to say support Black creators, y'all. You know, get their apps. If you like what you see on the free platforms, find a way. Use your extra 5 if you're doing my Bubble of Joy extra 5 in the day. Use your extra $5 a day or 5 minutes a day or whatever it is to give them a shout out. Find a way to support them. Buy something, just anything.
Yes,
it's
because she puts in a lot of effort.
They put in so much effort.
If you're pregnant, she got you. If you haven't worked out in a long time, she got those workouts for you. But if you're like experienced, she got those workouts for you. She has a little bit of something for everyone. I don't like going to the gym.
Yeah,
and I don't like working out for a long time. So this feels like something that I can do consistently. Yeah. I already feel good just by doing this. So I'm excited to see
That's so great.
How my leg and arms,
Go
my
ahead,
legs
girl.
and my
you
arms
look great.
follow suit.
We should have another segment about what you've been doing because it's really been interesting because I've seen your journey and you've really like been working it for years and years and kind of dialed it in. So to hear you say you're happy with where you are now is like, I'm excited to hear because I've seen you on a journey and I've heard you in times where you did not feel that way.
No.
And so that means that you have arrived at a place after a journey. So I think it would be helpful for everybody to hear, you know, what you were testing, because I know you did a whole bunch of stuff. I remember we've had so many conversations about it.
I done tested a lot.
So,
but yeah, I'd be happy to share what works for me, and I'm still figuring it out too.
Yeah, but I mean, but I think knowing like some of the things that you've tried, and you know some of the things that you've discovered, and the things that you're playing with, will be helpful for people because it might just be like a little seed that sparks their own discovery journey.
Yeah, and
also the support. I just want to say to listeners, yes, support creators because I think people don't. I was kind of dismayed when I went to YouTube and I was like, oh no, people are leaving. Like there's so many people I love and I see them posting regularly and I just think, oh, everything's okay because they look so happy. Yeah. And everything looks so good. But it's like they're just maybe holding on by a string and that's like the next to last episode they're able to do or something like that. So it made me realize like, oh, if people don't ask for it and they're not accustomed to asking, we don't think, oh, we need to support this because we want it to continue. Yes. So I'm going to be looking for ways in other creators to highlight and give listeners opportunities to support so we can keep this thriving.
We should.
This thriving ecosystem. I just love everything that everyone has to offer. I'm so excited about it.
Yes.
Okay, well, health and healing.
Well, this is something that someone offered, and I think it deserves its attention. So which one which one would you like to start? Would you like me to start or for you to start?
You start and I'll...
Okay, so I'll start. So success. Is it given or is it earned? Now, according to Anthony Mackie, who recently brought it up in another podcast called The Pivot, he says we're lying to our kids about how success works. He says if you tell them to work hard enough and get good grades, then they'll become successful. And he's like, nah, success is given, not earned. If you don't have someone that can, I guess, tap you in and say you're the one, you won't have some success.
Really? I don't know.
So, look, I understand where he's coming from.
I understand it because it's in English.
Okay, here's the thing. I think there's two parts to this. I think there is a difference between success and opportunities, and I think he's conflating the two. Because I think Opportunities.
Say that again. Say that again.
There's a difference. I think there's a difference between success and opportunity, and I think he's conflating the two. Mm-hmm. And I'm not alone in this because when I saw the video, I came to this conclusion, and others in the comments said the same thing, and I was like, "Thank you, God!" Like someone is actually paying attention to this, because opportunities can be given. Success is earned because the door. Someone can open the door for you,
right?
But if you don't walk through it, what is the point, right? Yes. Success, at least for me, and this is the other piece of it too, I think he also needs to reevaluate what success means. But let me put a pin in that. The whole thing about success and why I still think for a good part of it is still earned is because when you have these opportunities that are given to you, if you don't have the hard work or the work ethic, if you don't put in the work, if you don't have the vision, you're not going to have long-term success.
You're right.
That's it. We've seen that where people have had plenty of opportunities and their work ethic didn't match it. And then where they at? I'm not going to name, but you know what I'm talking about. There's actresses, there's actors, there's singers.
There's professionals.
There's businesses. They've been given opportunities and have failed because many reasons, but one of them is if you don't have the work ethic and you don't have that vision, you won't become successful. Again, I kind of understand where he's coming from, but I think he's conflating success and opportunity.
It sounds to me like that brother's been hurt, and I think that this town can do that to a person.
Yeah.
And it makes me, I vehemently disagree.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to say that.
Oh.
I can love someone and not agree with them at all. And I love him. I appreciate his work as an artist. I know what he has had to have gone through to even say something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I have so much heart for him and so much compassion and love. And I also 100% disagree. And I will say this, having been an artist, being an artist, living in LA, that we do need to work hard. Good grades don't necessarily make for success or opportunities, but hard work does. And you can be given an opportunity, and if you aren't given an opportunity, you can make opportunities for yourself.
Build your own table. If you don't have a seat at the table,
you have to
build it.
You build it. And I'm saying this as someone who had to do that, and who's had to do it many, 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 many times. And especially as a Black artist, I think it's the wrong message to tell someone something like that, because we are so systematically and systemically excluded from so many conversations, so many opportunities. If you walk around thinking that all opportunities are only given and not made or earned, and if you only think that success is on the other side of an opportunity that somebody gave to you, you are going to miss the path that is always there for us.
Right.
And we are always having to take the road less traveled. We are always having to climb the rockier side of the mountain. That's just what it is, but we're built for it. We shouldn't have to be, but we can do it, and we have done it, and it is still the way forward. So I don't want anybody to think that hard work isn't the necessary ingredient for success. Everybody has to deliver that. And I don't want people to think that excellence is not a necessary ingredient for success.
I agree. Exactly. So then it leads me to success, the definition of success. A lot of the times the success that we are told that's what that is, they have been determined by folks who didn't have us in mind for that measure of success. Mm-hmm. So I actually think this is an opportunity, this conversation that we're having about success, whether it's given or earned, I think it's an opportunity for us to take another look at success, especially as for Black women. We need to look at how do we reclaim and redefine what success looks for us.
You know what? 100%.
Right?
And you're saying that, and it just like the light bulb went on in my head about that definition too, and how I think that particular word sets so many people back. that word success and that definition, because I think so many people consider success as a measure of somebody saying you made it or you're good enough or something along those lines, when it's really not that. Success is like, my definition of success is, can I keep doing what I'm doing today, tomorrow?
Correct.
And foreseeably.
That's
my definition of success. Do I have enough money? Do I have enough energy? Do I have enough stamina? Do I have enough passion? Do I have enough to keep doing what I'm doing today, tomorrow? That's I don't care what anybody, because I know that with each day I have, what I'm doing is getting better,
right,
and continuing to apply myself and putting more out that sets my own story in the world.
Yeah.
So that becomes undeniable at a certain point. Now, that's my definition of success. That hasn't always been that my definition of success has not always been that definition. I've had other definitions that were more dependent on other people's perceptions and views and opinions of me.
Correct.
But then eventually I'm like, but they don't know nothing.
Because in my field, it's like,
but they don't know nothing.
You win awards, right?
Right?
You win the, I'm in television, so you win the Emmys.
Right.
Or you win all these things.
And then what?
Ma'am.
And then what?
Like, again, I'm an executive producer of a show that is that's still number 7 top 10 Netflix of all time. Yeah, that's great. Which is great.
I'm like, clearly.
But that, I don't want to say that doesn't mean much to me, but there's more to that. There's more to, like, when I think of my success, I'm so proud of who I am because I'm doing the things that I love to do. I'm not doing it because someone else is telling me, like, you have to do that so that in my eyes you'll be successful. Right. It's what I deem successful. And it's not anything to do with, there's just more to life than that. I don't know. I just feel like there's a moment where
this is a really important
we need to really sit down and reclaim and redefine what success means to us. Because to your point, it felt like for me watching him talk about this, because at the end of the clip, it was like, now I'm Captain America. Now what? And I'm like, ooh, like I think you need a moment to really, because I'm like, is he mad?
We see you, boy. No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he's brilliant. And
he is a brilliant actor.
It hurts my heart to hear that something like that has to be, but I think it happens in our entertainment industries. But I hope that he knows that he is everything he has ever needed to be, and his brilliance makes Captain America, not the other way around.
Right. And
so
that's right.
That is, and I see so many people as a writer, as an author, in particular as a Black artist, and I talk to a lot of aspiring artists, and I'll say it from my own personal experience. I used to have a measure of, okay, I want to be on the New York Times bestseller list, right?
Right.
And then I learned that is an editorial product. It's not based on sales.
Right.
It's using the word bestseller, but it doesn't necessarily mean best sales.
Best-selling.
Yes. It doesn't necessarily mean that.
Yeah.
And it's not decided by it's not decided by the community I serve.
Right.
And I had to separate myself from that, especially looking at the sales numbers that are supported by the community that I serve. I've sold hundreds of thousands of books, never appeared on the New York Times bestsellers list to date. I'm sure I will in the future. But that's not my goal at this point.
Right.
That's not my goal at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I love what I do so much that I'm just continuing to get better. At some point, they'll catch up.
Right.
But that's not changing my day.
And also, if they don't, that's fine.
Right.
That is fine. It doesn't matter because you are happy with that. So anyways, that's what I'm all asking is that let's look at, let's not conflate success and opportunity, but also really more importantly, let's really look at how we can reclaim and redefine what success means to,
I think that's a bigger conversation.
That's what we need to do.
I would love to add that to something else where we have more time to
because you have
maybe
something
our
that
retreat.
I also
maybe
feel like,
retreat.
oh yes, the retreat. Stay tuned. But no, I feel like this is something that when you mentioned, I was like, yes, we need to talk about it too.
Yes. So people would realize by now that we're friends and we talk all the time.
Yes.
But these podcasts have been amazing because I feel like what we get to do is kind of bring our discoveries in the world to each other.
It's our group chat coming to life.
Yeah.
Well, even though it's not a group chat, it's our text exchange.
A text thread come to life and have a moment to really talk about it.
Yeah.
And we're so excited to have you join the circle in the group chat. So the thing that we sort of talked about previously, but I was going to go into depth on this episode, was the idea of jealousy versus envy.
Mm-hmm.
And how jealousy can be healthy.
Yeah.
Jealousy can be such a helpful emotion. I feel like it's actually very neutral when it occurs.
Yeah. So
you see something, you see a person, they're living their best life, and you look at and you're like, oh my God, I want that, right? That's healthy. It's someone showing you of the experience they created in the world, something that you also want to create for yourself. Where it becomes toxic is where it becomes envy. And envy is a mixture of jealousy envy is a complex development. It's when jealousy combines with lack of self-esteem, lack of self-assurance. And because you feel like you want something, but then you don't believe in yourself enough. You don't believe that you're able to obtain it.
And then it goes.
And that becomes envy. Because at that point, you want what they have. Their having it is a reminder that you don't have it.
But then you don't even want them to have it, though.
And then you don't want them to have it because you don't want the reminder that
you ain't got
that
it.
you can't, that you don't have it and can't get it. So
there is a difference.
There is a huge difference between envy and jealousy.
Yeah.
And envy means that you want not your version of what they have. You want specifically what they have.
That version itself.
Right, because you don't believe in your creation ability.
Right, you don't want to create a version of it yourself. So where did this idea come from? What prompted this?
It was this thought. It was an aha. It was because social media prompted it, because I think I'm
good old social media.
Scrolling prompted it. Okay,
right.
I'm like, because I think I'm not the only one who feels this way. When you see all of people's highlight reels, right? You're scrolling, you see people's highlight reels, and it's natural to feel jealous, right? But not envious. And we conflate those words. There's another conflation. Like, we conflate jealousy and envy. Yeah. And we're like, oh, I'm envious. It's like, oh, I'm so jealous, But it's jealousy, and it's not a bad word if you don't use it in a bad way.
Right.
And so what I realized is that I kind of paid attention to the thought process. When I see something that I like or want that I haven't created in my own life, the first thing is like, oh, that's nice. That's like admiration.
Right.
And then the next thing that happens is like a feeling of lack. Like, oh, I don't have that though, So then I have a choice. Well, do I decide how to create that thing in my life? Do I have appreciation for the person that showed it to me? Or do I feel bad about myself because of that moment of lack, because I don't have it? And I found myself starting to feel bad, like, oh, I should have this, or I should be doing this.
Right.
Or it was making me feel self-conscious and insufficient. And I didn't like that. So I decided, oh, I need to interrogate this and fix it, examine it. And this is where this came from. I was like, oh, I'm just going wrong at this point. Like, where I realize I'm realizing, oh, I don't have this in my life. And where I'm going wrong is feeling bad about myself about it. There's nothing to feel bad about. I just haven't created that yet. And how exciting is it to be shown something I want?
Right.
I have so many things that I want in my life. I'm very content. But how wonderful is it
that there's a possibility
to be shown a new possibility
of
something that I would like to experience or manifest or create that would make me happy? What a blessing. wow, thank you. I'm excited for you and I'm excited for me. So I had to shift how I was experiencing social media and the constant bombardment of people's highlight reels of like, oh, look at this great thing, great thing I did. And realizing that, okay, there's a real positive benefit to this, but I have to be looking at it in the right way. So that's where this difference between jealousy and envy came, where you have that choice where you can decide, you know what, this is not about my insufficiency. This is not a condemnation, or this is not a failing grade on how I've been living my life. This is just a roadmap or a path forward, or sort of a new direction that I can take in what I'm accomplishing. So again, this is probably a deeper topic of conversation, but it was just one of those things where I was like, wow, this could be so healthy if we had the right framing on it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because a lot of the times I'm like, oop, putting that on my bucket list. Okay, yep, putting that on my bucket list.
Do you, when you're scrolling and you see something like that, how do you process it?
I just I don't know. I don't really think about it, honestly, because remember I told you I'm curating my feed. So a lot of my feed are, like I said, cats, recipes, and vacations.
I'm not jealous of a cat.
No, I'm not. Oh, sometimes I am, because my cat just be lying around, he's living his best life. Being rubbed up on, and
life of comfort. And
food
leisure.
just automatically pops out. But yeah, no, I don't.
Do you ever get that twinge of like jealousy? Like, do you ever see something and you're like, oh, like somebody's like, I just, won whatever, or I just got the deal of a lifetime, or I just whatever. Do you ever get that?
It's a little bit, hey, I'm like, how the hell? But then I remember, like, what's for them is for them, right? Like, what's for you is for you. So just because they got that doesn't mean I can't get my version of it.
Right. So you do have a process. I
do have a process. Like, but some people I'm like, you ain't got no business. Literally. But like I said, I remind myself that like what's for me is for me. So I can't compare myself to others. I really have to like stop myself from doing that, because I used to do that a lot earlier on when I was in the industry, because I was an assistant and I saw all these people like get promoted. And I was still like an assistant, or when I was in a junior exec, people were just like running divisions. And then it happened to me. And not only did it happen to me, but then I got, an executive producer for a hit show from it too. Yeah. So it's like, it's what's for me is for me. I gotta relax. You gotta.
Well, they say comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It actually is.
It really is.
But there is a lot of work that has to take place internally, and I think a lot of conversations leading into that work and part of that work that get you to that place. Like I don't think you just wake up like that. Where you
right. No, it's a choice.
I hear so many people who are basically like tormented by their social media feed. It just like is constant barrage of insufficiency. Like it's like I haven't achieved this, I haven't done that.
And I'm like, first of all, social media is a lie for the most part. Like a lot of people are showing you only a snippet of what they want to show you, and that could be real, but you don't know what else is going on with that. So I really look at social media as like entertainment. I think
it's amazing.
Like, it's entertainment. It's TV. For me, it's kind of like I don't think it's real until I make the decision like, oh no, this is someone's really real life. I think of it like a reality show, to be honest. But yeah, no, I think you have to be very careful about what you allow in your feed. So I don't really. I go through this. I go through that really short process. So.
I think for me, this is an evolution in making a healthier experience out of social media, where I think every tool has upside and a downside. It's neutral, and it depends on how you use it and how it affects you.
Absolutely.
And so I've heard so many people have such a negative mental health experience with social media, and I'm realizing, okay, this has something to do with it, about how you're processing seeing other people's highlight reels and then what happens in the internal
process.
So,
well, this is we're heading into what's good, and then we're going to wrap it up because this is one of the many joys of social media that I actually appreciate, because if I didn't see the social media, I wouldn't know. So, Colman Domingo.
Yes.
Do you know about his love story, about how he found his husband?
I do, but it's a great story, so you should tell it.
Such an amazing story.
It's so inspiring.
Okay, story time.
Okay, story time.
This happened last year.
You have to do it like Jennifer Lewis.
Oh, how does she do it?
Jennifer Lewis tells stories with so much animation.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's just me on a regular. So, okay. So he was on the Graham Norton show. This was last year, and it's a late night talk show in the UK. What I love about that format is that all of the guests come out and talk at the same time. They don't do like one by one like we usually do with like the Lenos and well, I just aged myself. It's not Leno. Who is it now? Fallon and Kimmel and whoever's on CBS. Okay. Anyway, so, okay. It's the early aughts in Brooklyn. I mean, not in Brooklyn, in Berkeley, California. Colman steps into a Walgreens. He's on a phone and he sees this man. And this man has beautiful hair, and he's with someone who's complaining about something. And he's on the phone. He's distracted. The man that's dealing with the woman that's complaining, he's distracted. But they keep checking each other out. And then Colman at some point waves at him. The guy doesn't really respond, but he keeps it moving. Okay. So he looks at the clock and he's like, okay, if it's 8:00 on a Sunday, maybe he'll be back next Sunday. So I'll just come back next Sunday. Like maybe this is like his regular time. Midweek, he's hanging out with a friend. I think he's not hanging out with a friend. He goes on Craigslist to buy a laptop. And he's a hopeless romantic. So he's like, he sees missed connections on the Craigslist. He's like, let me just click on missed connections. Maybe he wrote something there. Girl, he did. And he saw that Raul posted something 2 hours before that said, hey, I saw you on a Sunday at the Walgreens. You had a mohawk or faux hawk or something. So anyways, they connected. They went on a date. And they cuddle. And then Colman says, I think I love you and I think you're going to change my life. And they've been together ever since. It's been 19 years.
19 years.
Talks amongst yourselves. I'm for clout.
That's so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
How beautiful is that?
That's amazing. And like, oh my gosh. I like synchronicity and serendipity.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the universe there's some beautiful things, y'all. I do feel like people should be encouraged.
Anyways,
that's what this podcast is for.
That's what's good this week.
Look, Delululand.
Also called Delululand. That's a new segment.
Every time you press play on our podcast, we're going straight to Delululand.
Straight to Delululand. Anyway, so we're going to wrap it up.
Why live in their delusion when we can live in our own?
Okay, that part. Okay. I thought that was really fun story. I wanted to share that. Well, but what's the final word this week?
Final word for me is we can be addicted to a story, an approach, a thought, a behavior. We don't always repeat things because they're good for us or because we enjoy them. If it isn't working, it doesn't work. So be firm about the outcome, but flexible about the approach.
I know that's right. I was on Darius Daniels. I think he's a pastor. He be preaching. And he says where you are right now is partly a reflection of who you've been listening to.
Ooh.
And where you're headed will be shaped by who you let influence you today. Listening ain't the same as being led. Some of us hear wisdom, but don't apply it.
Let those who have ears hear.
And let the church say,
Amen.
Amen. All right, guys. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.